Hey, what's up guys? I just want to do a quick video and talk a little bit about online coaching for newer powerlifters. So it's something I see a lot of online where you have an experienced or fairly experienced or maybe sometimes not even all that experienced powerlifter touting for online coaching. But for newer athletes, they may see this and the desire to try to hire one of these guys as an online coach, it might be there. So I just want to talk a little bit about whether or not that's a good idea for a newer athlete. So to start with, I'll go over some of the cons that I think go along with hiring an online coach for newer powerlifters. So first off is likely cost. Powerlifting is not really a sport you're going to earn any money in. The amount of money that you put into it is just for pure fun, essentially. So if you have the money to have an online coach, you have the money to hire somebody, that's great. But in my personal opinion, that money would likely be better spent at a gym membership or having a better diet. There's other things that you can do with that money that I think would be more worthwhile. You can see more benefit from a good gym membership, like I said, or even traveling. Putting some money aside to go travel to a good gym where there are good powerlifters at, because you don't necessarily need to hire someone online to have access to that wealth of knowledge. Powerlifters are pretty much everywhere. It's not that hard, I don't think, to find a gym somewhere in your local area where you can tie in with a group of guys and begin to learn some of the things that you would be paying for if you hired an online coach. The second con is that the program's possibly not all that customized. So if you look at some of the online coaches, they mention that they have however many spots available for whatever period of time that is that they're going through a coaching cycle. So for that coach, on top of his or her normal daily life and whatever else they have going on, their own training, and then however many other clients they have, there's a lot of potential time investment that they have going kind of all over. So what you're looking at is you may not necessarily get the best, most customized program for yourself. So if you were to get something like that, I would see that would be where a lot of bang for the buck is. But in a lot of cases, really being able to customize a training program or customize your lifting, the coach would really need to see you. Really need to see how you lift, watch you, observe you over a period of time to see kind of where your faults are, where your lagging muscle groups are, get an idea for some of your limitations, whether you have certain physical or even mental limitations, afraid of going over a certain weight limit, for example. Just things like that where that coach can be kind of hands-on, actually see you on a day-to-day basis, where you may not get that necessarily with the online coach, because obviously they're not there. Whatever you do film and send to them, you're reliant on them, and they're taking time out of the day to kind of review all that. You take that times however many clients they have, that's a considerable chunk of time that that they may not actually have. So what you may find that you get with those programs is kind of a cookie cutter program that most or all of their clients kind of get with a few tweaks here or there, and that in and of itself may not be all that beneficial. The third con that I see for online coaching for new powerlifters is, in my mind, one of the biggest ones. The fact that having an online coach, it detracts from the personal accountability of your own training. So if you, for example, program yourself or have a group of people working with you and you're working on your programming, there's personal accountability for how much you are putting into that training. Whereas if you have an online coach, you're paying somebody to kind of give you this, you just follow blindly what they say, and then at the end of that 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it ends up being, if you don't necessarily see the gains that you were hoping for, you're likely to come away with that with a feeling that it's their fault, and that may or may not be true. The program may not have been that great, but to rely on somebody else's word, to rely on somebody else's programming as kind of gospel, it takes away your own personal accountability. And Louis Simmons often says that he doesn't write down programs on paper. because the athletes have a tendency to follow that like the Bible. And again, that takes away from that personal accountability of theirs. The next con that I have kind of goes hand in hand with that personal accountability, also detracts from the feeling-based training. So if you listen to a lot of the guys that are online now putting out information, Mark Bell, Chris Duffin, Chad Wesley Smith, a lot of those guys, they talk about having some intuition with your training, kind of being able to sense, maybe when you've gone a little bit too close to your maximum recoverable volume, or you've just pushed the limit a little bit too far. If you're following somebody else's training plan, you have a tendency to want to just stick to what is put there on paper. And like I said, it detracts from that flexibility of being able to kind of say, no, this isn't feeling good today. I'm going to lay off and push till next week. As you progress in powerlifting, you do it for a period of time. You discover that it's better to err on the side of caution than it is to kind of push blindly ahead. The last one that I have, and I think is another really big one for cons in terms of online coaching for newer powerlifters, is the availability of free information. There is so much information that's out there. It's free. There's a lot of people that are out there that can answer questions and help you out. There is a ton of information out there that you can get access to and hear some of the best powerlifters in the world describing some of their techniques and their tactics. You can look at that and know pretty well what a program should look like, and based off that free information, be able to tailor your own program. So that in and of itself, I would see as a good reason why not to seek online coaching. Hey, I'm adding this in as an afterthought, but it also dawned on me that another reason why I feel the way I feel about online coaching for powerlifters is that, especially new ones, is that pretty much anything you do is going to help you grow. So you don't really need real refined techniques and super special stuff to get bigger and stronger as a newer powerlifter. Pretty much any and everything's going to work to some extent. And then also, newer powerlifters frequently don't have the same dietary considerations as some other types of competitors. More or less, newer powerlifters pretty much can kind of eat whatever they want within some certain constraints, but I wanted to add that in too. To discuss some of the pros for online coaching is that maybe the programs are actually customized. Potentially, the online coach that you pick up, could write a program that's extraordinarily specified for you, tailored to some of your strengths and weaknesses rather, and works really, really well for you. So there's potential for that, and that's a great thing. Another pro is the excitement of working with a high level athlete. So if you're a kind of a burgeoning powerlifter, and you want to get some more tips and some more information and kind of improve your skill sets, maybe you try to work with someone like Chad Wesley Smith, for example, or some other high-level powerlifter. Working with that athlete is very exciting. There's almost a sense of kind of working with somebody famous or working with somebody that's well respected. There's a certain excitement that comes along with that could be very beneficial for your training. So there's that. The pro that kind of ties into the con that I have is the elimination of thought. So it's a good thing sometimes when you don't necessarily have to think about what you're going to do. It's just there, and you can just kind of follow it, left foot, right foot, and kind of move forward through the training. It's a double-edged sword, I think, because like I said, although it makes it sometimes easy to kind of just follow what you're being told, it also detracts from that personal accountability. And then the last pro that I thought of for working with an online coach is the access to experienced athletes. So if you're a powerlifter that's kind of in a remote area or in a location where there just isn't that many other athletes that you can reach out to and try to work with, working with an online coach may provide that opportunity to get some of that experience and some of that knowledge base that you may have a hard time, finding any other way. As a young athlete growing up in Michigan, it wasn't uncommon for me to drive, an hour and a half to some of the training sessions that I went to work out with some of the guys that I had met and know. if sometimes that's not feasible. So in an event like that, in that case, it may be beneficial for you to look at hiring an online coach as a newer powerlifter. And the reason why I went so far to specify about newer powerlifter is as I genuinely don't think that there's going to be that many seasoned or veteran powerlifters that would look to hire an online coach. So it's really a dialogue that's really exclusive to the junior and novice lifters, I think, because really that's the demographic that's most likely, I believe, to reach out to an online coach. So in short, I don't believe that hiring an online coach is necessarily worth it, although there are guys that's kind of a way that they earn their living, and I certainly wouldn't want to detract from them earning their living. But when it comes to new guys, sometimes they don't have all the money to throw around in the world, and just to have that forethought about, is it really worth it? I just wanted to have a quick conversation and kind of put some information out there, stuff to think about in terms of maybe your own decision about whether or not you want to reach out to an online coach, or whether or not you just want to try to find a local powerlifting gym in your area that you can go meet a group of guys and start lifting with. I know here in Southwest Florida, there's a good gym out in Milton. It's called The Bar. There's a bunch of powerlifters that frequent that gym, and it's easy to walk in, meet the guys even for the first time, and just fall right in. And once you meet powerlifters, it's like it really is like a family. From the outside, they look scary and intimidating and mean and gruff and whatever else, especially if it's your first time kind of working out with a group like that. But I can promise you that from the first time that you train with a group of powerlifters forward, you'll realize how dedicated they are to one another, how much they truly want to see each other succeed, and how much everyone wants to see everyone else grow. All right, guys, that does it for the video. I hope it helps, or at least gives you a little bit of food for thought and making a determination about whether or not an online coach is right for you. I'm going to keep trying to do more videos in the future. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If it helped out in any way, give it that thumbs up. Always looking for subscribes too. So if you could subscribe. In the future, I'll be doing some more videos. Like I said, one of the ones I want to be working on coming in the future is the open barbell version 2. I just picked it up from Squats to Science. I had mine pre-ordered in August, and it just came up the other day. So I'm going to start implementing it into my training sessions and making notes about how that works for me and what I think. And I'll have that online probably in the next couple of weeks. All right, peace.